Impotence is the inability to rise, to take opportunities, the inability to rise to perform, the inability to rise to meet responsibilities, the inability to rise to the occasion and be in charge. It's not impossible that that rich man has noticed that this man is not worth it. He will have tried him with small things, and he just found out that it is better to have him around than to invest in him and make losses.
I say you cannot. I say why? I say because I'm Dr. Apoki.
I'm your friend Dr. Charles Apoki. I remain your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. I'm your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. I'm back with the message of history makers or storytellers. And I told you that I would share with you how people can be executive lepers around rich people and then end up as storytellers without becoming prominent or successful. I often wondered why that rich friend in the first video did not one day tell the poor friend, come man, let's go overseas, join me for a trip, bring one of your children to learn this trade of importation. But you see, if you read about the people in the pool of Bethsaida, you will notice that the Bible says that there were people who were blind, people who were impotent, and people who were paralyzed. Physical blindness is not the problem. Steve Wonder is blind, but he has achieved so much. The worst form of blindness is not having a vision. If you don't have a vision, you cannot maximize opportunities. You cannot place a demand. So it's possible that that friend that was walking with his coat that looked like a cockroach with that prominent rich man, it's possible they were friends from childhood because they were from the same community. But that man never saw beyond immediate gratification. That was the problem with Gehazi. Gehazi was more interested in immediate gratification by asking for Syrian clothes from Naaman. That's why he got leprosy. So the next thing is impotent. Impotence is the inability to rise, to take opportunities, the inability to rise to perform, the inability to rise to meet responsibilities, the inability to rise to the occasion and be in charge. It's not impossible that that rich man has noticed that this man is not worth it. He will have tried him with small things, and he just found out that it is better to have him around than to invest in him and make losses. So, even the Rothschilds, one of the richest families in the world who has been trading gold for the past 200 and something years, the price of gold is determined daily in their house in the morning and in the evening. For the past 200 years, the Rothschild, they had a child called Kalman who could not brace up to the expectation of the family. So they did not send him to any of the countries where they are, like Germany, France, the UK, and the US. They kept him around themselves in Switzerland because they were afraid that if they sent him to another country, he could bring embarrassment to them. So such people are impotent. Spiritual impotence. But the Bible also talked about those who are paralyzed. There are two types of paralysis. One is flaccid paralysis. In that case, there is still communication between the brain and the spinal cord, but there is a damage to a controlling locus in the brain, either by blood clots blocking the blood supply to that portion of the brain and that portion dies, or a ruptured blood vessel, then that portion of the brain dies. In flaccid paralysis, when you raise the hand up, comes down. You raise it up, comes down. Somebody who has spiritual flaccid paralysis, if you give them opportunities, they will fall. You give them money to start business, they will fail. You send them to school, they will not graduate. So, you pick them from somewhere to help them, they always come back to where you picked them from. At a point, you get tired of them. Instead of you to waste your resources, waste your energy, waste your contacts, and then they bring trouble and stories all the time. Oh, such people with spiritual flaccid paralysis, they know how to tell stories. You see these LASMA people, you see this local policemen, you see this currency exchange, you see what just happened as I was just going. Then, suddenly, they know how to give excuses. Oh, the teacher does not teach well. That university, they don't lecture well. Somebody was telling me about the son who was having carryovers in a university, that they don't lecture well in the university. I told the mother of that child, that those students from that university won prizes, global prizes. It's your son, it's not the university. So they have flaccid paralysis. If you give them money to start business, they will squander. They are like wives that you set up businesses for. Such wives would crumble the business, sell everything. They might not even open their shop sometime. I know one. Every day I drive past her shop, it's closed. She's either in one prayer meeting or the other. Recently, she told me that I have finished selling everything in the store. Everything in the store is finished. So congratulations. Did I buy them on credit from you? Or did you send the money to me? You finished selling it, you squandered. You ate, squandered the money. I also gave that woman money up to 3 times. She didn't do anything. She didn't produce any result. That person is suffering from flaccid paralysis. And if you want the stories of any person in that community, she knows them. She knows who is a bad person, who is a witch, who is a wizard, who is an adulterer, who is an adulteress, who is a satanic person. She's the only good person. All other people are bad. Such person is suffering from flaccid paralysis, and she's a storyteller and not a history maker. There are brothers, sisters, family members like that. And that's one of the problems our brethren in the diaspora are having with our people in Nigeria and in Africa. You send money home to do things they don't do, they don't progress. You bring some of them to United States, you bring some of them to Europe, bring some of them to Canada. They will mess up and nearly put you into trouble. So you just leave them where they are. You give them intellectual social distancing, but just be helping them and sometimes use them for their nuisance value. But there is another thing called flaccid paralysis. Spastic paralysis. Spastic paralysis is when there is a disconnection between the brain and the spinal cord because of injury in the vertebral column. In that case, the spinal cord is still getting blood supply, but it's not getting regulatory impulses from the brain. So sometimes you can just see the hand will just do like this. The leg will just move, spasm. Oh, you will get excited. The man is getting healed. He's moving. It's a lie. He's still where he is. There are people like that. You see them, they will come with one idea, one project. You will be so energized. They are so excited. You will think that they want to do well this time. You invest. It's a lie. They are back to where they are. Such people become storytellers. They can be husbands. They can be wives. Some of them, when they leave you, they will go and grumble, slander you, tell stories about how bad you are. What they didn't see, they will go and say. I've had several experiences. Such people are suffering from spiritual, flaccid, spastic paralysis. They are storytellers and not history makers. Such people like the most active part of their mouth, of their body is their mouth. To talk. When you see the one that has been sent overseas that didn't do well, and he comes back to a rural community like where I live, they are the most vociferous, most argumentative. They speak phonetics, they call names, they know Tony Blair, they know Sister Teresa Mary, they know Gordon Brown, they know Jimmy Carter. They will talk and talk in the drinking parlor. They talk, they argue. Nothing. Those people can drink. Oh, they can drink. As they are drinking, they are arguing and spittle is coming out of their mouth. They can eat. Talkatives. Those people are executive lepers if they are close to you. They are storytellers and not history makers. Then why do people keep them around them? I will speak one of my proverbs in Urobo. You see, the flesh of your abdomen is difficult to peel by yourself. Some of those people are so close to you that you can't throw them away. So what they do is they become storytellers and not history makers. You just leave them. But the most dangerous of them is the one that will leave you and slander you and say things he or she did not see. They never do well. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about Gehazi as a storyteller and not a history maker. This one relates to storytellers in ministry. I remain your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. If this is the video you are watching first, there is a part 1. Look for it. And this is the part 2 on history makers and storytellers. God bless you. Subscribe to this channel, like it, share it, press the notification button, and send me a message on +234 7052136763 to join my WhatsApp mentoring group. And we have properties for sale. Send a message to that same number and you will get a reply from that number. God bless you.